Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bonsais Forever. So you're probably wondering why I'm so close to the camera. You're probably wondering why I put a dead tree up here on the bench today. So this is a juniper that I got as a nursery tree to turn into a bonsai, and I haven't done much with it. It was in a very sunny place. It was also not watered enough. Just so you know, junipers are a very drought hardy tree. This is a juniper, or Juniperus procumbens. So procumbens juniper. It's a procumbens nana, which the nana means dwarf. So this tree. Back to the previous statement. The junipers are very drought hardy, but junipers like water. Like any other tree, they like water. They just don't like having wet feet. Like most trees, actually, they don't like having wet feet. I'm not going to say all trees, because some trees like being in water. If you got like a bald cypress, Brazilian rain trees like to be wet. Yeah. So anyway. Back to this. The junipers, they definitely like having water, but they are drought hardy. This one was pushed over the edge of hardiness. So there is still some green. I'm going to see if I can save what's left on this tree and possibly turn it into a bonsai tree. So this is going to be probably months apart in the videos. So and I'm gonna do the video and I'm gonna post it and then do another video and post it. So it'll kind of give you an actual look at how long something like this can take if you get your tree to a point where you're trying to save it. This tree was perfectly fine. It was all green. It was all beautiful. And honestly, it was about half this size when I got it. So half this growth on here was after I purchased this tree and had it growing in the garden, and then just got busy on other stuff. One day I come out and it's not looking so good. So I put it in a different part of the garden, and obviously that helped nothing. So we're going to go through and I'm going to cut off all of the brown, and then I'm going to see what I can do with the green part, see if it's salvageable, see if it's going to be able to become a bonsai or not. So fingers crossed. Let's get to work. All right. So I'm going to try and bring you guys down a little bit. There we go. All right. Got my turntable. And let's start the trimming. And of course I have my compost bucket right up underneath here, so just put everything in there. I'm going to keep all of the green that I can keep to start off with, and then we'll go through and pick and choose what we're going to keep. Some of this might just pick off, some of it might not. So I might just go ahead and cut everything. I'm going to try and keep some of the main larger branches to do deadwood feature. Might end up being a deadwood complete dead tree. We'll find out here in a minute. I'm going to be kind of careful to go through here so that I don't cut off some of the stuff that I want to keep, but I'm not going to be so careful that this is going to take an hour. So hang in there with me. Don't Don't go anywhere. This will actually kind of give you a chance to see what the bones of a bonsai tree actually look like, or I mean, a pre-bonsai juniper, what they look like and what it looks like underneath all the foliage. Because that's not something I think a lot of people actually see as beginners. As you get more experience, you'll see more and more of what the actual branch structure looks like, because you're going to be creating the branch structure. So you'll see it more and more as you get more experienced. But for the novice or the beginner, this is kind of a look inside, I guess you could say. And if you look right here, let me get you in closer. If you look right here, all of this is not a good sign. This is fungus, I think. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but it looks like fungus. Some kind of like mushroom is fungus, you know. So fungus actually is what breaks down decaying matter, whether it be plant matter or any biological matter. So I don't want to get gross on you guys, but fungus breaks down things that are dead. So that goes to show that this tree has been, after not being watered enough, it's been watered. So, and it's been watered from a sprinkler system, and it kept everything wet, which is probably part of the reason why it didn't recover. So if I had put this into a space where I could just water it from the bottom, or water just the soil and not the whole tree, there's a chance that this might have done better. Maybe not. This tree might have been too far gone to recover before it had major issues. But I mean, whatever we can do to keep our trees healthy in instances where they're having issues, that's something that we should do. So I'm gonna get all of this off of here. I think I'm gonna pull it out of the pot. Oh yeah. I'm wondering if it has much root system on it at all, because that is a lot less roots than it would normally have. The roots would usually go to the bottom of the pot, and the ones that were going to the bottom of the pot just broke off. So I'll lower you guys down a little bit more here. Get you close. There we go. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm working on. Alright, so now all of this, I'm going to take off the brown parts. And as you can see, there is no new growth on this tree right now. There is like zero new growth on here. So with that being said, there's still a chance. I think I'm going to be optimistic on this. I think there's still a chance that I can bring some of this back. But at this point, we're really looking at a long road to recovery, or getting close to a short road of putting this thing in the compost. So by taking out all the dead branches and taking out all the areas that are retaining more moisture than this tree needs to be retaining, that's definitely going to help. And I am going to repot this into a different substrate. I'm going to use bonsai soil on this so that it will drain freely and give it a better chance. all of this in here retaining moisture is not helping out anything. And who knows, maybe this will turn into a really cool bonsai in the future. Actually, I'm really thinking that, yeah, this is not going to make it. This isn't even going to make it. It's all of the, well, this part of the bark is actually pretty solid, but this part of the bark isn't. I don't think it's going to make it. Still going to try it. I'm still going to post this video. Well, obviously, if you're watching it, I've posted it. Sometimes I talk to y'all like you're actually sitting here. So, I'm still going to post the video. Alright. So that's pretty much everything. And this branch is definitely not going to make it. It's got no bark staying on the trunk here. I can just basically rub it right off. So I'm going to take all the foliage off of this branch as well. It's not going to make it. I think the only branch that's going to survive is this one. And that's okay, because we can make a bonsai out of that. And we can use all of this as part of it, because I think this side might survive this, but this side's not going to, because this bark right here just comes right off. So I'm going to take all of this off as well. Also, when you're trying to save a tree, if you have a small portion of foliage, you have a better chance saving this much rather than all of this. So we're going to try and save this piece. I'm going to go and wash this off with the hose. So let's go do that. Got my hose, got my compost bucket. If I can set the camera down without y'all falling over. So I'm going to wash it off in this blue bucket here, so I can save the soil. And I'm washing it off so we can find out if there's any living roots at this point. And I'm also going to spray it off really hard to get all this off. Get all the dirt and everything that's going to hold water. I'm going to hose this out as well. One of the biggest parts of saving this tree is going to be keeping it a little bit drier. Alright, here we go. It looks like there are some... I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it doesn't look like any living root. Doesn't look like there's any roots on here that are really living roots. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the black color of the roots is a natural color for these junipers, but as you can see, it's got pieces that are missing in there off the roots that have been stripped, and that's a very bad sign. That's not good. So this lower part, let me get back over here. Sorry about jostling you guys. So this lower part, I'm going to take that off completely because there's nothing down here that is going to be helpful with this tree. As you can see, this is all rotting away down here. So that's coming off completely. Some of these roots look like they could be alive. They don't have any fresh ends or fresh feeder roots on them, but I have seen, I can't say I've seen worse, but I've seen similar and it come back. So we're gonna try this. We're still gonna try it. Yep. We're still gonna try it. So I'm gonna leave all of the craziness for now. My last video I was talking about taking the bark off right after you've taken the foliage off, but in this instance, this is already dead and dried and been moistened, and so it's not going to be the same as pinching it and it just coming off. As far as I know, I'm going to try it just to either prove a point or show myself that, see, it's not doing the same thing. The actual wood is rotting inside of there. So unless that's just the inside of the bark. Oh, maybe it'll come off easier while it's wet. Let's just take it off, I guess. Grab my knife and just cut it off. And I'm not gonna be keeping all of this dead wood. And I said in the last video that scraping, if you scrape the wood, it's kind of permanent, which it is kind of permanent. It's not 100% permanent, because I mean there will still be some decay and some weathering and stuff like that, but leaving scratch marks on the wood on a like a high-end tree, something that's in what am I thinking? I'm thinking development. That's the only thing that comes to my head right this second. That's not what I'm thinking. Give me a second, I'll think of it. It's still early. Refinement, that's what I'm trying to think. Sorry. Wow. Should have taken my vitamins. Anyway, when a tree's in refinement and you're doing detail work, being careful with creating more deadwood or fixing up deadwood, something like that, then you don't want to scratch that, because that's going to be something that you're going to try and preserve the way it is at that point. This here, this got a long ways to go to being a bonsai, so this has got a long ways to go of refining and developing and all that stuff, so I'm not as worried. One thing that I have learned, though, you want to treat each tree like it's going to be $100,000 tree. So when you start treating your trees like, oh, this one's probably not going to be that great, and then 10, 20 years down the road, you're like, man, I wish I would have taken a little bit better care of that in the early stages, because now I have to deal with something that I messed up or something like that. So treating your trees like they're already a $100,000 tree throughout the development of your tree, then you're going to create a $100,000 tree. You treat it like it's a $5 tree, $10 tree, whatever, even a $100 tree. That's what you're gonna get. So treat your trees the way you want them to turn out. I mean, that's really, I think that's something that we should all use in life in general. I mean, treat each situation like it matters. Treat each person like they matter. And then if people don't matter now, when you start doing that, people will start mattering, and life will start mattering. If you're having depression issues and stuff like that, because I've gone through that. I don't talk about it much. Like I don't think I've ever mentioned that on YouTube, because it's just not something I talk about on YouTube. But the day and age we're in, it seems like everybody is dealing with some kind of depression or PTSD, or they're on drugs for it, or they have a hard time with it. And if you treat every situation in your life like it matters, then eventually it will start mattering. And that's something that I've learned over the years. I've got PTSD from being in combat and the Army, and there's actually years of my life that I don't remember. I really don't remember much of it, pieces and parts, but like the whole years of my life are like gone, because I didn't want to be there. Not that I wanted to kill myself. I've had bouts with that, but it's not something that I go through constantly, and it's not something that I deal with now. But when I was going through that, it just, you don't want to be there. So you just, everything around you doesn't matter. And when you start making individual pieces of your life matter, then everything starts to matter. And I don't think that we should go to extremes, to where it goes the other way with that. But I really think that everything should matter. I think everything that we go through should have a place in our life. Because it's our life. We're living it. We're living it right now. We're not living it 10 years ago. We're not living it 5 years from now. We're living it right now. And I think that each part of our life, we should be in the moment. Live right now, because it is right now. I definitely think that we should plan for the future. Because if you don't plan for the future, then why live right now, right? But I really think that living in the moment is really important. And I bring this up because a lot of people that I talk to about bonsai, a lot of like older people, not saying old, but like older people, say that I'll never live to see that be something great. If they're looking at a newer bonsai tree, a smaller one, something that's still in development, like, yeah, I'll never see that turn into something great. And a lot of times I'm like, well, thinking to myself, I don't say this out loud, thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, you probably aren't, and that's sad. It really is sad. You should, I would love to see all of my trees turn into something magnificent, something that's worth millions of dollars, or in like the kokufu in Japan, something like that, something like super, super amazing. But be realistic. I'm 42, or sorry, I'm 43, and I'm not old, but I'm not young still. I can't take a 2-year-old tree and see it when it's 100 years old. And that's just the way it is. But to enjoy your tree while you're developing it, to enjoy your tree while you're creating it, the whole time you're creating it, and just enjoy it, watch it grow. A lot of people will talk to me about, how do I make it grow faster? How do I do this faster? What? And I'm like, well, there's ways of making things go faster. Obviously, planting a tree in the ground, that makes it grow faster. You know, letting a tree grow out for a long time before you cut it back, that can make a tree grow faster. But are you enjoying that tree while it's growing out? I mean, you're spending 3 to 5 years growing out a tree in the ground, and like, why wouldn't you enjoy that tree? You know, are you going to put it somewhere that you're going to be able to see it every day? Are you going to be putting it, you know, somewhere you can enjoy it, or is it going to be in the back part of the garden, you know, like hidden away, tucked away behind weeds and stuff while it's growing? I mean, be honest, I would never do that. I would never do that. That's just something that I've done stuff kind of like that, where I've put a tree in a grow pot and kind of put it in the back part of the garden, and then I go back to it and I'm like, man, I missed out. You know, I missed out on a lot of this tree and a lot of its growth. So I don't know, I'm just rambling now, but let me grab a pot really quick. I'm gonna grab a training pot. I'm gonna put this back in. No, I'm gonna put bonsai soil in here. I'm gonna put bonsai soil in here. I'm gonna use a screen. Just so happen to have one cut already, and I'm gonna put this in some bonsai soil. I'm gonna put it in large bonsai soil because I want it to be very free draining. Mix some of this up. I put some pine bark in here. I don't normally use organic materials in my bonsai mix, but started to lately, just a little bit, to offset some of the watering. It definitely helps to give you a little bit of water, and organic materials actually do help with nutrients for the tree as well. I was thinking fertilizer, but that's not really what I was trying to say here. All right, so I'm gonna plant this. Bring you back up a little bit. I know I'm jerking you guys all over the place here, but there we go. I'm gonna put the tree kind of sitting on the pot right here, I think, just above the pot, about like this. I'm gonna put it up a little bit higher, and because it's got so many roots, obviously, it's not going to be really hard to get soil into all the crevices of the roots. So I might be able to just pour this on here. And I don't really want to create roots across the bottom of this part, but I think it's just going to be something that's inevitable in this instance, because I need to get this side of the roots in the soil. So, I recently joined this group on WhatsApp, I think it's called, and a bunch of bonsai YouTubers from all over the world, mostly in I think England and Australia, and then I think I'm the only US person on the chat at this point. Maybe we'll expand it later, maybe not. But it's been really helpful with my PTSD and just realizing that, you know, not everything is serious. And it's been really helpful. I'm really thankful to those guys. I would name names, but I know I'm gonna forget somebody, so I don't want to leave any of y'all out. So if you're watching, I'm not naming names because I care about y'all. So thanks for everything, guys. So here we go with the repotting of this, and I will put their channels in my description. Not all the channels are on the group, but there's a couple of them that aren't in the group, but they're still really good bonsai channels that have helped me to develop my my skills in bonsai. So I'm gonna put those in the description as well. I'm gonna give you a quick turnaround of the tree because I think we did pretty good. I'm gonna leave all of this here. Actually, there's a couple of dead pieces in the back. I'll take those off, and I'm gonna put this, or I'm gonna leave this in the greenhouse. I'm going to hand water this, and I'm just gonna get the soil, and we're gonna see. I would turn it around all the way, but there's another tree back here. So I'm gonna hand water it so I can get that to grow again. We'll see. Maybe this will do well. Maybe it won't. And you know what? If it doesn't, then I'll just work on another tree. But it is nice to be able to save trees if you can too. So I think I've done enough rambling today in this video. Maybe I'll do another video, I don't know. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all watching, and I really appreciate y'all's support. Thanks for all the comments and all that, and subscriptions. There's a lot of new subscribers. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Keeps me going, keeps me wanting to make more videos. Gonna try and make more videos more regularly. Scheduling is getting a little bit more free, so it's gonna be really nice. I am gonna be doing some updates on the area where the shed is at, or is gonna be. I might do a video of redoing the greenhouse, that kind of stuff. So still a lot to come up, a lot more videos to come out. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.